Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about Part A, Chapter 1, the Praat Basics. Chapter 1 is a pretty big chapter. The chapter title Introducing Praat for Beginners. Um, if you do not want to learn about Praat scripting and just want to learn the basics of Praat, you can just go over Chapter 1. Okay, from chapter 2 and the rest of the chapters of this part, they're dedicated to Praat scripting. So in chapter 1, I'm going to show you the basics of Praat, how you can download it, install it, and use it in your study of phonetics. Next page, let's go to Part A, Praat Basics. Here, Part A introduces the basics of Praat and its scripting language to novice learners. Those who are familiar with Praat are advised to go directly to the last archived chapter for useful scripts. Part A, Chapter 1, Introducing Praat for Beginners. This chapter is an introduction to Praat, and it shows you what it is, how to install it, what its manuals are, what a Praat script is, what its scripting manual is, and the rest. So it gives you a lot of information about Praat. The chapter introduces the basics of Praat for those who are new to or novice learners of it before learning to write a Praat script. So you don't necessarily have to learn to write a Praat script. If you just want to know how to use Praat in your phonetics work, it can be a good resource for you. Chapter 1 has a lot of sections. It has 8 sections. The first section is what is Praat. The second section, installing Praat. Third section is Praat manuals. Fourth one, scripts for Praat. Fifth one, scripting manuals. 6, the first step. 7, examine sounds with Praat. 8, a sneak peek at Praat scripts. So if you just want to learn the basics of Praat, you can just check sections 1, 2, 3, and 6, 7. Okay, so you can skip sections 4, 5, and 8. Okay, so let's move on to section 1. What is Praat? It's a speech analysis software. It looks like this. It has a very simple interface. If you launch Praat for the first time, you'll be surprised that it's so simple. And the first impression I got from launching Praat for the first time was I was a bit disappointed because I expected it to be a fancy, very luxurious software because it's well known for its powerful features, and most people that I know of, they use this software. So this is the software for people who are doing phonetics. But if you launch it for the first time, this is not the first screenshot of Praat. I have created and loaded some objects here. You'll see the first screenshot of Praat later on. But anyhow, so it's speech analysis software, and the authors of this software says it's a software for doing phonetics by computer. Okay, it has many advantages and some disadvantages, but for people who are interested in learning the phonetics and Praat, this is a very powerful software. How do you install it? you can first download it and install it on your computer. If you go to the website, here's the address, www.praat.org. Okay, type that in the address bar of your web browser, and here's the first page. Says Praat. In Dutch language, Praat means speech, talk. Okay, doing phonetics by computer. This is the phrase given by the authors Paul and David. Okay, so they have created a software for doing phonetics by computer. And if you want to download it, you go to the download Praat section in the upper left corner of the web page. If you have an Apple machine, click the Macintosh link. If you have a Windows machine, click the Windows link. If you click this one, then you'll be directed to another page, downloading Praat for Windows. It has two versions, 64-bit edition and 32-bit edition. If your machine is a very old one, maybe 10 years or more old, then you might want to try the 32-bit edition. But if your computer is less than, if you bought it for the last 5 or so years, then you might want to try the new, the faster one, this one, 64-bit edition. I think most of you can just download this one and it'll be fine. Okay, you'd have no problem at all. Okay, it's a very small file. It's only this version, 6024 version. It is only 8 megabytes. After you unzip it, it may be a little bit bigger. Anyway, if you unzip it, uncompress it, then you will have Praat or Praat.exe. Okay, drag it to your computer, desktop, or to a folder of your choice. Then that's all. You can delete the original zip file. You can launch Praat by double-clicking the Praat.exe file. If you launch it, it looks like this. Okay, it has two windows. Okay, the title bar says Praat Objects window, and the second window is called Praat Picture window. So Objects window and Picture window. But most of the time you'll be using this one, the Objects window. The Praat Picture window is for producing good quality pictures. So I think you can just close this window for now, because you'll be using this window most of the time. Okay, so if you launch Praat for the first time, there's nothing. There's these menus. Okay, new, open, save. It's not activated. You cannot click on it. It's gray. It's dimmed. It's a help menu, and there are some buttons. They're not activated. You cannot push any of these. Okay, so they're not activated, and some menus are activated. So this is the first look of the Praat, and it looks very simple and doesn't look interesting at all, but you'll see later on that you can do pretty much anything you can imagine in the area of phonetics. Let's move on to section 3, Praat manuals. There's a manual. If you go to the help menu, if you click on it, the first item in the drop-down menu is the Praat intro. If you click on it, you will see a manual window. It has a lot of things about the Praat software. So this is the official place where you can learn learn Praat by reading the manuals. It has a lot of items, intro 1, intro 2, intro 3, and it's if you want to once I try to print this manual, it's a stupid thing to do. If you I haven't tried this recently, but if you try to print it, it may be thousands of pages long. Okay, so don't even try to print it. It's a stupid thing, because these blue words, the blue words in blue, they are clickable. You can click on it. If you click on it, it's like a web page. Okay, so everything in blue has links, so you can click on it and you'll be directed to the next page or other pages, or you can, if you click on it, if it has a sound file embedded, then you can hear the sound. It's a very convenient web page style. Okay, so it's called man pages. We'll learn about that later on. So this is the manual. You can get the window by clicking the Help and Praat Intro menu in the Praat Objects window. There's a search field. You can type any word. If you're interested in format, then you can type format here. Okay, and then press enter on your keyboard, then it will give you the manual page for the format. Okay, so that's the manual for Praat. And next section is about scripts. Praat has a scripting language. If you know a little bit about programming, scripting is a lot like programming, but it's easier. Scripts scripts are like text files. Okay, a script is just a plain, ordinary text file. It looks like this. Okay, so it has a lot of text. These are commands. Okay, so with the Praat, you can use your mouse and keyboard to do some analysis, anything related to phonetics. But you can also do the same thing by using the commands in a script file. Okay, if you know how to write a script, these are the commands that Praat can perform, and once you're done with writing a Praat script, and you can run it, and then Praat will perform each and every one of the commands automatically without your intervention at all. So a script is one way to do things automatically. Okay, so scripting language enables you to do a lot of things automatically without you doing anything at all during the execution of the script. Next section, scripting manuals. There's also a manual for scripting. You can learn how to write a script in this section. The scripting manual is pretty long. It would be best if you can read all these manuals, but it's impossible to read them all. So that's why I wrote this book, to introduce you to the Praat scripting language. Scripting language is like a programming language, so it has all the elements of a programming language. But it's easier, as I said earlier, it's easier than learning a programming language like C, C++, Java, things like that. Okay, so this is the manual for scripting language in Praat. The next section, 6, the first step, okay, real basics of Praat. This is from the web page of the Praat. It tells us the functionality of the software Praat. it can do speech analysis, it can do synthesis, it can do the labeling and segmentation, we can do listening experiments, we can manipulate speech, we can do some statistics, and there are learning algorithms which I don't know at all, and you can draw charts, you can do some graphics, programmability. If you know how to do the programming, this can be helpful to you. Portability, configurability. So Praat is a very powerful software. And I said a lot of things here. So let's take the first step, starting with how to get sound files. Take the first step by learning. Okay, it has 10 sections. Section 6 has 10 subsections. Record with a microphone. So these are the real basics of the Praat software. So if you don't want to learn the Praat scripting and just want to learn how to use the Praat for your phonetics study, this is the place. Okay, 6.1, record with a microphone. 2, opening sound files. 3, create sounds in Praat. 4, create text grids. This is a labeling file. 5, a look at the editor window. 6, setting the editor window. 7, mastering the editor window. 8, measure in the editor window. 9, edit, modify, change. 10, save as files. So next one, the first section is about making a recording with a microphone. This is the very first step in doing a phonetics study. Okay, you need to have a sound file to do any kind of analysis at all. So let's take a look at this section. 6.1, record with a microphone. To make a recording, you need to go to the new menu of the Praat objects window and use the record mono sound command. Okay, but before making any recording, I have said something here. It's about choosing the right microphone. Okay, headset or head-mounted microphone is best because the distance between the microphone and your lips should be constant. Okay, so a desktop microphone or a handheld microphone is not good for making a recording in a phonetics study. Okay, to maintain the constant distance between your mouth and the microphone, headset or head-worn microphone is good. Once you have the microphone ready, go to the new menu here. Go to the new menu, record mono sound. Okay, and Praat will pop up a window here. It's called sound recorder window. Okay, it lets you record sound. Okay, there are a couple of sections in this window. The first section is channels, mono or stereo. Since we chose the mono record menu, it's set to mono. Usually we use the mono recording because we don't have two mouths. Okay, we have just one mouth, so mono recording is preferable. The second section here is input source. It depends on your computer. If you have a built-in microphone, I have a head-worn microphone. I'm wearing a headset here, so my input source is a little bit different. I have a third section here. It's a Sennheiser microphone, so I have to. It's already selected. Okay, sampling frequency is it determines the recording quality of your sound file. Okay, it's usually 44 kilohertz or 48 kilohertz. These two are more than enough. And this is the meter. If you say something, it will look like it will go up and down. Okay, the meter will fill up. If it's green, it's good. If it's yellow, too loud. If it's red, too loud. You cannot. If you see red meter, it's not good at all. You have to maintain the green meter. Okay, so moving up and down inside the green meter is good. Okay, as you as your recording progresses, this is the progress bar. Okay, so depending on your memory or the computer memory, I think the speed this progress bar fills up is determined. Okay, and here is the name section. You can name your recording here, or you can change the name afterwards after you move this recording to the Praat Objects window. So to make a recording, you press the record button, and then you can stop it when you're ready, and you can play it to see if it's fine. And if you want to save your recording to if you want to save it, then you have two options here: save to list and save to list and close. If you press the save to list and close, this window will close. Okay, but if you choose this one, save to list, this window doesn't go away, it just stays there. Okay, save to list means transfer your recording to the Praat Objects window. Okay, so this is the sound recorder window, and when you press the save to list button, the Praat Objects, you'll see a new sound from the sound recorder window. Okay, because I named it sample, the sample or sound file, sound object appears in the Praat Objects window. Okay, but if you press the save to list and close window, then same thing happens here, but this window will close. Okay, so if you're not finished with your recording, use this button. Okay, keep transferring your objects to the Praat Objects window. Okay, when you're finally done with your recording, then you can press this button here and close it. Okay, and you'll have a lot of your recordings here. Okay, once you have an object in the Praat Objects window, remember when you first launched Praat, there was nothing here. Okay, there was nothing. It was so simple. But once you have a sound object here, many buttons, button menus or button commands appeared. Okay, and one of those is in blue, view and edit. This is the default button. If you press it, then you can see the sound objects that you just recorded. Okay, you can have as many sound objects with the same name. These two sound objects, the numbers are serial numbers, the order of your objects. So this is the first object that you created, the second object. Okay, and this one here tells you the type of object is a sound object, and this is the name of the object. Okay, so in the Praat Objects window, when an object is created, it shows you the serial number and the object type and the object name. Okay, and you can have objects with the same name, but since the number is different, they are not the same. Okay, only the names are the same. Okay, when you press the view and edit button, you'll see an editor window, but since it doesn't say anything about that, so we'll see about this later on. And let's move on to the next section, 6.2. I think I need to stop here, and we'll continue with this section in my next video lecture. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.